Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of Monday with Molly. Pretty sure it's going to be pandemic edition for the rest of the year. So, come on, America. I mean, it's embarrassing at this point. It's embarrassing. Just going to put that out there. All right, so as per YouTube, if these videos are helping you, others, subscribe, like, share. I'm still working on my goal by December 31st to hit 1,000 subscribers, because that means then we can get like that ripple effect going to help other people constantly evolving and growing. Because even though I'm doing the videos, I'm also learning with you. I often make videos on what I also need to learn here at the time. So today's topic is how to control the worried thoughts. And this video came from last week's Flip Your 20 video about getting your endorphins year round. And I run a group online, and the question came up like, well, in the winter time, I have a health issue. I can't get out in that cold, and how am I going to do in my apartment without, the people who live below me being like loud and things like that. And, finances are an issue. So myself and other people in the group were, giving some ideas, and the person who had the question said, it's because I said, you got to control the controllables, and she said, maybe that should be your next video, is how to control the worried thoughts. So that's why this video is coming at you. So a few things. Controlling the controllables is really critical at any time, but especially pandemic time, because so many, I don't care who you are, what age you are, where you live, so many pieces of the things we controlled have been like ripped away. So what we can control maybe was this big, but now like it's getting narrower and narrower and narrower. And now as things are opening, depending on where you live, maybe that's getting a little wider, but we're kind of grasping, like, I just want to control something, because so much has been taken away. So there has to be an acknowledgement of that. Because if we only focus on what we can't, this is where Flip Your 20 comes in, right? It's your 20 cent, your perspective. What you see is what you get. If I only see what I can't control anymore, and that I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I can't, and people give you options and solutions. Yeah, but. And I get it, I'm not judging. I was there for decades. Or you can flip your 20 and say, okay, it's not going to be ideal, but I'm going to be optimistic and make the most of it. What can I choose to focus on now? What can I do? Yep, these 10 things I couldn't do before, but I can do these 2 things. They might be different things. It may be different intensity. For health and fitness, which is where this came from. Okay, maybe it's different intensity, but you can still do something. Something's better than nothing. It could be with your finances. It could be with your nutrition. It could be with something in your relationships, in your work, in school. There are always things we can control. It might look different now, but there's still things we can control. And that's where you start to get your power back and feel empowered to make decisions based on your goals, on wanting to create new patterns and habits, versus only focusing on being reactionary. That's a stressful place to live, and I will tell you, stress is a death sentence. Man, your blood pressure goes up, sleep's off, nutrition's probably, it's a snowball. So we gotta come back to controlling what you can control. So if you are a worrier, and I realized a few years ago that I was a worrier, I had no idea. And then I was like, gosh, all I'm doing is focusing on like worst case scenario. What's the worst that can happen? This will go. And then I was like, ew, that does not feel right. Because I've started counseling 11 years ago. I was 35 when I started, and I'm 46. So for the first 40 years of my life, I wouldn't have even listened to these videos. I've been like, she's an idiot. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Because I was so in my own like mess. So I can share this from a perspective of healing and evolving. I still have plenty to work on. But this one in particular, about how to control your worried thoughts, is it's really important to connect your dots as to why. Why are you a worrier? And if your thought is, I don't know, if you did know, what would it be? Because you probably do know. So maybe when you connect your dots and you go back, maybe it is some very old childhood stuff. Maybe you were living a great life for a while, and then you got in a terrible relationship, or something with your job happened, and that triggered something for you to start worrying and being uncertain and feeling like you are out of control. Right? You have to connect the dots. When you can connect the dots and understand why you are where you are now, that awareness, then you can start to do the work. It took me a while, like into counseling, when I realized, like, oh my gosh, that's why I'm so angry and bitter and don't want to trust people. Like, like really having it like laid out in front of me. I was like, that makes sense. Now I can do something with it. Now I can fix it. Until it was an awareness of connecting the dots. So same is true for you in any area where you feel like you're worrying a lot. And I know we're back to school time. There's a whole bunch of worry out there and uncertainty. So connect your dots. Also, it's really important, and you got to be super honest with yourself. This is not going to be easy, but it's really important to understand that we behave in a way we behave because there's a payoff. There's some sort of a payoff why we do what we do. And that payoff might be positive, it might be negative, it might be pretty, it might be ugly, right? Like I played victim for decades. There was a payoff for me because it allowed me to still be angry and keep everyone at bay because I didn't trust anyone. So it served me. Not well, but it served what I needed at the time, which was like, leave me alone. So when you can understand why you do what you do and what the payoff is for you, especially if it's a negative payoff or like negative or one that's not serving you to move you forward, that's a tough pill to swallow. But once you swallow, then you can get to work. Like there are a lot of people who do act the victim, who do play martyr, who do want the attention of always being so dramatic. And I'm not saying you're never going to do these things. I do too. But I'm saying when it's done consistently, you got to check yourself. And that's not easy to do. Again, if this was me 6 or plus years ago watching some lady do this, I'd be like, she's an idiot. She doesn't know what she's talking about. But I've lived through it and have learned and evolved, so now I can just share from my experience also. So that's important also, is why you do what you do. What's the payoff? And how to truly control and stop those worried thoughts, it's not easy and it takes time. You have to retrain your brain. Your brain and your wiring, depending on when you connect the dots, how far back this goes that you're a worrier, it's almost like unwiring, rewiring to feel in control or empowered or be able to handle the blows that life gives you and not letting it totally derail you or only focusing on what's wrong. That takes a lot of work. I would say until I was 41 was when I finally got some control of it. And that was after 6 years of counseling. So it's not easy, but it's important. It's consistent and intentional practice. That when you feel yourself going down the rabbit hole of the worry, the concern, the what ifs, it's not going to work out, what's the worst that can happen? And I'm not judging that. I've been there too. It's real. Okay, I get it. It's real. But when you find yourself going down that hole, you got to pump those brakes hard and go, okay, what am I really feeling in this moment? What is the real reason I'm feeling it? It's probably going to be more than just the surfacey. Again, if you're in the habit of being like the dramatic or martyr person, you gotta call yourself out and be like, oh my gosh, that really is why I do it, because I get attention. It's just like a kid in a classroom. Sometimes kids act out because they want that attention or need it because maybe they're not getting it somewhere else. They just want to be like, do you see me? So again, that's part of that tough pill to swallow. But once you start to acknowledge and you're willing to do the work and you're willing to be super present, which is also challenging, then you can start to see what your habits and patterns are. And then again, with like multiple times a day, catching those thoughts, pumping the brakes, questioning it. Why do I feel like this way? What is the real foundation root of it? That's when you can then start to acknowledge, okay, how do I improve this? What do I need to do? Maybe you need to go to counseling. Great. Maybe you need to listen to some podcasts that help with this kind of work. I love the Holistic Psychologist. She's wonderful. Instagram, YouTube, check her out. So maybe a free way to do it is experience people doing their podcasts or YouTube videos or interviews who are in this line of work too. But once you start to do that and you are like intentional, doing the work, putting the reps in to catch yourself, then over time, and again, it took me multiple years, but I'm at the point now where once I start to feel myself spiraling, it physically and emotionally, it doesn't feel right. I'm almost like, my gosh, what is happening? And then I go, oh, you're in like the worry like spiral. I can pump my brakes hard and go, okay, whoop. And I immediately practice gratitude when I'm grateful for my roof, I have food, I'm healthy, it's a beautiful day. I completely flip my 20 on what I'm focusing on. What's wrong? Flip your 20. What I'm grateful for, and it slows me down and it calms me down. And then with a calm mind, calm blood pressure, calm heart rate, then I can say, okay, what is really going on here? So I can prevent myself from going down that rabbit hole. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. And this could probably turn into an hour video, but we're already at 10 and a half minutes. But connecting the dots, understanding what's the payoff, and starting to be so aware that you can pump the brakes, stop and question yourself and really call yourself out hard is where you start to make that change. Heightened awareness and presence when you're in that spiral is critical. So I hope that at least gets you started on how to control the worried thoughts, because you absolutely can. It takes a lot of work, a lot of practice, a lot of intention, a lot of consistency, but you got to put in the reps if you want to strengthen that. Hope that helps you. I will see you again later in the week for the next episode of Flip Your 20 Friday. So take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace.